Good evening, everybody. Hello, Angela. Hello, Nazli. How are you all? Hello, everybody on the wisdom and also on the.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Angela. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm here just watching this, which I'm not going to do. It was a oil plate class.
Oil plate class. Okay, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, but she went like $900 something for it. I thought it was something like a drawing class.
Wow.
But she have it free for the week, but she's gonna have recordings on it. So you got to the end of the week to think about it. Yeah, but I don't want to do that much drawing right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Our usual room today about asking people to learn a technique of trying to calm the mind in the morning and in the evening, and people are really stressed out these days, information overload. And calming the mind is something very easy if you allow some time and give the importance that it deserves. Otherwise, this information overload will drive us be more neurotic and really caught up in our thought world, living in the past, living in the future. And that is a question that I always ask people. How long do you stay in the present in a day, or do you go into your land of what happened that day, this day, that year, this year, or thinking of, oh, I wish I could be like this in the future. That's okay to look for something and you want to plan, but don't want to go and live there, right? So I think this is a very important issue as we go along into mode of this information technology revolution that we are going through, artificial intelligence, chat GPT, and all that. I think they can really enhance our activities, but they can also keep us occupied with a lot of things that we may not want in our life, not meaningful, like the news channels, the 24-hour channels, the social audio, all the time we are on the clubhouse or wisdom and all of that. I actually do according to a plan, Angela. Do you have a something that you want to do this way, clubhouse? Do you have a structure?
Yes, now that you asked that, yes, I have all the structure. That's right. Now I was setting up my silent meditation room.
Very good.
But I'm gonna actually change the name but we're gonna still have like 20 minutes of silent.
Yeah.
And you could be working on something, or it could be around the time we have like maybe lunch, dinner, or something like that.
Yeah.
For your energy can actually go in your body the correct way.
Yeah.
Instead of you talking and eating, that's how a lot of people end up choking or not enjoying their food or getting upset.
Yeah.
So I was gonna do that. So my thing is to finish doing what I was telling you about my 2 years being on here and completing my book. So I'm at like the last chapter, and that's the yielding part. So it's like everything that I actually collected, good or bad, out of the 2 years of restarting myself back, being into entrepreneur.
Yeah.
From closing a daycare and losing so many family members and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I was working on now. So I'm building that room back up because I'll be doing affirmations, and I did an affirmation book. And remember we talked about before?
Yeah.
I wanted to add pictures in there for like the therapy part, like art therapy.
That salad meditation room that you told me about is, I think, making the salad itself can be meditative experience. There's something called Japanese tea ceremony. Have you ever heard of that Japanese tea ceremony?
No, that's a room.
Yeah, no, that's a tradition that is there in Japan. They do this tea ceremony in a very meticulous if you look at it, what it does is the girl brings a tea kettle and everything, and the way she puts everything with mindfully, that's very instructive. So she first puts the cup and then puts some sugar, some tea, then the water, but the way she does everything is meditative, you know like that. If you are making the salad, you take one thing at a time, don't get lost in the thought, but pay attention to what you are cutting, what you are preparing, and that becomes really, really well. So each act that you do, you pay attention, then you are really anchored into the presence. So that itself leads to real good meditation, where thought is arrested and you are in the awareness. So you can develop that room like that, Angela.
Okay. I know when we did do the silent meditation, it was like a whole day because my grandkids then went to dance class, and down in the bottom of the church they had, they got a lot of rooms they rent out. So they was doing silent meditation, and you know me going in talking. Yeah. So we went for a walk. First they came in, everyone introduced themselves. After that, everybody was quiet, and then she had a couple of like strolls she read from. Yeah. Then from there, you go out and do a walk, and it's a silent walk, so we can't even talk to each other when we walk. Yeah. We was walking by the river. Yeah. And then we come back, and then we have lunch. Yeah. So when you come back and have lunch, you can wash your hands and everything. You get that minute to say something. Yeah. After that, it's quiet again. Yeah. Then after you finish having lunch, then they go into like a music meditation. Yeah. And they had like maps and everything. I was surprised I fell asleep like that. And then everyone laid down, and I'm going to see if I can find the instructions she did. And they had one teacher watch the door, and one teacher finished going through the directions of what everyone was going to do, of like giving out the equipment and everything. And everybody in the class fell asleep. It was cool. Everyone fell asleep. They went from the music. They went to the part of like telling you like different parts of your body what to do. I think they are getting relaxed. They are getting relaxed because they are falling asleep. That's not the meditativeness I'm talking about. Meditativeness is where you don't have the running thoughts, but you are aware and alert. You see, actually you become heightened in alertness. If you're falling asleep, that means you are deeply relaxed. That's okay, but that's not really meditativeness I'm talking about. You say any activity that we are doing. No, they said that was like a silent meditation they was doing because it was so many parents and they was doing so much running around, so they was able to come down there. Okay. And do that activity while their kids was upstairs doing dance and art and theater. Yeah, that's good. So it's nice. Like that was my first time ever going to it. So it's like a variety of things put together, like in salad. Variety of methods are put together for these all different meditation that are doing. That's good. But what I'm saying is, when you cook also, Angela, or you do some, say for example, dishes, or any of the household chores, like carpeting or vacuuming, carpeting, and all that, they can all be activity of awareness. In that, they become meditation as a whole. See, people can do like that all the work, but then these days, people first thinking and then doing stuff mechanically. So that's something what I don't advise. What I advise is, whatever you do it with attention, and then that thing gets done well. And also, you don't have to carry that work with you after it is done, because you're completely in it. That is what is required in the modern age, because attention span is getting shorter and shorter with they're exposed to so many multiple distractions. When you're doing something, so many distractions come your way, right? That is what I'm talking about is harmful for us. Rather, whatever you are doing, if you completely focus and do it,
then you don't have to carry any of the remnant from it. You will finish it off and go. And then next day you have to come and start from there. That's good enough. Lots of times people are carrying everything home. Don't carry the work home if you could help it. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Otherwise, you just try to vacate everything. See, I do what is called vacation every day in the sense I vacate my mind. Have you heard about that, Angela? Vacating the mind?
Tell me about it. Sound like you just let everything go.
Yeah. Because what I will say is this I learned from a sage called J. Krishnamurti, and he talked about vacating the mind. But suppose you are looking at a tree, right? And then you are really appreciating the tree and its green leaves, or it's a bird, or whatever that is there on that, the swaying of the tree in the wind, whatever you're appreciating the tree, you're really watching the tree. Then you are not filling up with any of the memories or your imaginations and all that. You are with the tree. That is really emptying our memories or everything in that moment. And that itself is like a vacating the mind, which becomes our vacation. See, if you go to some place for vacation, lots of times I advise people go there, enjoy, and completely spend the time. Don't think of all the work. But these days people are carrying laptops and phones and everything, and they're always on the work, and that is also not good. Do the work properly, finish it off, and then make personal time for yourself. You see, that is what I'm talking about. Then you kind of clean off everything every day. Then you are having vacation every day. You are vacating the mind every day. So that's why when I go to some other place, I completely enjoy whatever we plan to. Even if we plan something, and suppose we want to be in the beach and it rains and we cannot go there, then we invent something that we can spend the time on the vacation and the hotel, or some movie or something, family time together and all that. But we don't let that disappointment and all that get to us. Okay, this is what happened. We'll go and enjoy this. That kind of being in the present, being in the moment, and understanding that things can go wrong, but we have to create something else. But at the same time, I appreciate we are all together. Otherwise, normally we are not together. We are all different works and all that. But let us enjoy this time, knowing what is going on with our lives, all those intimate. Right? I call that uh, emotionally intimate time. It's not just enjoying some routine things like movies and all that, but just staying in the cabin and pouring out how we are, what it is going on within us, what are the conflicts, all those things. And that quality of time I was used from the childhood. So a lot of my friends used to come to me because I used to take a long walk in the outskirts of our town, where there are so many trees are there. And at that time, I used to be very quiet. So people used to love to come with me because that's a quiet time. I still remember that. So vacating the mind every day is really very, very healthy. And the same thing we can do at the vacation time also. See, a lot of people spend with work where even if they go there. You see?
I'll add that in and do that too. It sounds great.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV, and I noticed that it's going to be very distracting
Yes.
to people too with Clubhouse, because
Yeah.
the way they have it set up, you're just running around.
Yeah.
You're just hopping around because you don't know exactly what's going on, and I don't like it. And what it was, I was getting ready to charge the phone, and I seen you popped up on here because I had the laptop on, so that's why I came in the room. But other than that, I'm not too fond about that. It's been all day, and I was like, this is kind of weird because all day everybody's just popping in and out of rooms because we're not sure exactly how they have it set up. Yeah. So when people are like pinging you, and sometimes you just like flying right into the rooms.
Yeah. We have no relationship. They just want to amass all this mob. That's why they invite us. So I see that if I go somewhere, someplace, and then I say something one time, they go on pinging me every time they come, because all they want is more people, more people. Do what? You get to have meaningful discussion, know people. Like, I know you are a gardener, We talked about soul. We talked about a lot of things about nature. I know Angela is like this. Then I like to talk to her about those things. You see, Nazli also, she was in the room several times, so I know she's from Germany. She has some interest about her thought and dreams and all that. So there's some substantial thing that we can share. Then we become okay. We are together investigating into something. Then that becomes meaningful. This is like a information exchange. Okay, if you are learning some skill, that is fine. But if you are learning about these deep inner things about human beings, about the thought, meditation, calming down, and all that, you need to really have to explore together. It's not like I'm telling you, you are doing it. No, we're going to explore these things together. And in the exploration, we discover the truth, and the truth liberates us, right?
Yes, I didn't want to make noise in your ear. You know, this around my tea time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what it is why this calmness is important is very healthy. When you are calm and your flow state and your working work, that's a very good thing for you. Instead of reacting to for every small thing, which normally people do, if you can really be in flow, and that means no disturbance of other thoughts coming into your work, and that's a very healthy thing because you don't have to secrete any of the stress hormones. Normally, what happens is when I see my colleagues and other people, they are very emotionally react to even a little bit going out of order. They come with a certain state of mind where they say everything has to be this way, and inevitably something will go wrong, and then they react. I say, don't react. Respond to the challenge. You don't have to take it personally and emotionally, and then react with your mind, feeling unhappy and all that. Even irritability, even thinking like, oh, everything happens to me like this, and complaining, all that. They kind of secrete these stress hormones, which are not good. That's why calm mind is very healthy for us. A lot of people miss that point. They think, oh, I can get angry, I can do all this, but then they all add up. Somebody said, if you get angry with somebody, that somebody is okay, but your anger is making you sick inside. A little bit maybe, but still, you see, that's why I kind of,
yeah, it affect your body, your
yeah,
nerves and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, it does affect, and that's why people who are deliberately practicing these meditative practices, mindfulness or gratefulness, or being really appreciative of whatever. Say whatever is happening, if you don't complain but do celebrate the small things that are good in that particular thing, then you will be very, very happy, you know down the line.
yes, sure enough.
Yeah, so I think we know about it, all of us, but we have to have an active practice every day to do that. Everybody knows being happy is good for us, not to get angry and all. But then when the things happen, the reactions, we kind of allow the reaction to go on. And if you do it repeatedly, it can cause problems. I was in one place, this is in the hills, right? When I went there, they have all these women that are working in that, and then they are remarkably very, very broad smile for everybody, and they are kind of very calm. But then they wake up around 4 o'clock, Angela, and then they host these conferences. That conference that I was attending was more like a leadership or something like that. Then they go on till the evening, and then they do it like the 3 days conference, right? But then they don't seem to be getting tired at all. Then I kind of looked at what their routine is. What they do is every 1 hour they kind of stop. There is a bell or something, some signal comes to them, and then that is the entire place. It's a resort, like all of them just stop everything they're doing, and they will stand up or sit down, whatever convenient, and then they actually meditate for a few minutes and then go back to it. So they kind of never seem to be thinking all the time, but rather they're very efficient with their routines and all of that. And they have this broad smile that really got me. All the women, they were actually there because they wanted empowerment. That was the message of the retreat, that we empower women who are having problems in their life. Those women, some of them are widows, some of them are abused, some of them are very, very poor. So they took all of them, and then they gave them shelter, food, and everything. Only thing is they do some voluntary work of the philosophy of the place to participate in those activities. They don't tell them that you have to follow this, but then they encourage them to help people to.
That's not.
Yeah.
It's not a good place, though, right?
No, no, it's back in India. I went in there, is in the hills. It's called Brahma Kumari. There's a special place. But what I was caught up was they were so smiley and so happy all day, and they don't get tired because they're not letting their mind go this way, that way, and all of that. I noted the place, and it was very, very good. I took my wife and my daughter there, to show them the place where, because I knew about all their work and everything. You know what they do? Everything is solar power driven. They have these massive solar panels on the top of the retreat, and then they get all the. So they're very modern in so many ways. And I was interested in one particular study they were doing. What they were doing was they have these heart patients who had surgery, cardiac bypass surgeries and all that. And then some people who have real blocks, and they were advised to have surgery. And then other people, they had having these people just for meditation, but they have underlying health problems too. So what they found was the blocks of the heart vessels are much less in people who are meditating. That is what they were presenting. That's the conference about. I think that is the conference I attended, not the leadership. That's the one I remember correctly now. And that is the conference I attended. All the doctors who came, from India and other places, and they were fascinated because we use so many medications, so many things that we do here, but there, the important main thing is meditation. So studies like that on mind and meditation are going on. We have a lot more meditation now showing us how healthy it is to be calm and quiet in the mind.
It is more healthier, and the less things you have too.
Yeah. So,
you can have so much that can actually disturb your peace.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kind of good thing, right? So.
Huh?
Yeah. I think somebody wants to come up, so I told them to come up, but then I don't know, he disappeared. So anyway,
it's like I told you, some people passing through and they being popped into different rooms, and then people pinging them into other rooms.
It could be.
And then when you don't know where you really want to, where you're going, you just like keep popping in and out of rooms. That's just a little bit too much for me right now.
Yeah.
So I was just charging the phone, and I was working on the it's still meditation and like mental health, like a guidebook. It's like practicing self-care, seeking support.
Yeah.
All of that would be in a little group. Because my friend, she be having me on the phone with her sometime, and she's working on the weekend. So I told her that that'd be good when she's going home, when she's dealing with so many people.
Yeah.
Or like, how she do like a double shift all the time.
Yeah. Comprehensive self-care is what I wrote about, because people don't make time in these busy times. They don't really want to take time to do that self-care, which is very important. Otherwise things are coming up, so many things, we kind of swept away by the things we do. But we have to, I always talk about doing versus being. Is do things, okay, but don't get lost in them. Have some time, some routines for the self-care. I think that's the need of the hour. Okay? The more busier the outward is becoming, the more these people are getting lost in this outward.
People not even eating and drinking water.
Yeah, that's it. It is. They don't have time even to sit down and have a dinner, good dinner. They don't drink. That is very important. You have to drink at least on a regular basis. People don't do that anymore. That's why I teach them comprehensive self-care, where four pillars I call about: food, activity, sleep, and then meditation. And then the meditation, this calmness is the requirement. You will get it if you can do it every day. Like I was telling, in the morning and in the evening, dawn and dusk. When the consciousness from the sleep to the awakeness, and from awakeness to sleep, that is the time when you really want to deliberately attempt to calm yourself. Take time off and then sit down and then lower your temperature. Like, that becomes very good for a lot of people, right? So, anyway, we are in the 23rd day today. I plan to do up to 40 days. And anybody has any questions on that, they're more
You're
than.
going to do what? What are you doing?
I was doing 40 days in a row. This is the 23rd day on this calming the mind room.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is what
I'm
it
in
is.
here for half.
Yeah.
I'm here for the other half.
Yeah. But you're there for some rooms. But then this is the 23rd day I'm doing on this topic. So I'm asking people to do this exercise every day, like sit down and close your eyes and breathe deeply. And as you do the breathing deeply, you be aware of the sensation of the air that's coming through the nose and all that. People are responding to that. And Sonia and other people over here, they had a lot of questions about different things. So I was able to talk about them. Today we talked about vacation. Today we talked about how the mind calm means a healthy mind, healthy body. And also I described that exercise several times during these 23 days. Basically, I was telling them, always in the morning, in the night, try to do that, and always go to a place where there are no distractions. And then sit in a chair, put your feet down, keep your spine erect, then close your mouth and take deep breath through the nose, like 5 times. And then next 5 times you do, you will be associated with your sensation of the nose as the air comes and goes. That way you can really park the mind there, instead of going all over. And then you also think, I'm not just this body and mind, I'm this awareness. So all those are different components of meditation, but I take one at a time and I discuss them according to the interest of people. If people are very interested, we can go much deeper. But at least this is a requirement in this modern age, with all the information that we deal with. Take some time to calm yourself and come back to the present. Once you are in the presence, then you are okay. Then automatically your mind will do things and leave them. Do things and leave them, instead of brooding over or really engaged in reliving all the past that is already done, or engaged in something into the future. We can plan, but don't go and live in the dream. Okay, do stuff with full alertness. That's what I was trying to tell in these rooms. I planned for 40 days for a reason, because anybody who can do this habit for 40 days in a row, the habit will be encrusted, and then they will not be away from it. So instead of listening one time and going, you have to actually do this. I do it in my wellness club that I do in the morning. I ask people, you are not here just to entertainment, you are not here just to discuss only. We are actually going to do this, being awareness, doing all the asanas, all the postures of yoga, and doing these breathing exercises, and also meditation. All those things happen. And then people are really establishing their presence through the 1 hour that I practice. And then most of the time they tell me, I have some standards for that. I say AEIOU, like our owls. Are you more alert when you do this exercise with me? Yes. And are you energized? Yes. Are you having some insights into your conditions? Yes. Are you really doing the sound profoundly, so that it becomes the real, first sound like, and then are you connected with yourself, the inward being, not your mind, not your thought, not your intellect, but your being.
You're doing that class. When are you doing that? 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central time. That I do in my wellness club.
It's 10 o'clock my time, or what you said?
It's done on the Central
It's 8:29 now. It's 8:28 now.
Yeah, here 7:28 Central time.
Oh, we only an hour different. That's why I missed you.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. In the morning, 6 o'clock means Eastern 7 o'clock. And then evening 6 o'clock, I do them when the students are there. But sometimes they are there, sometimes they are not there. They don't come regularly. They come once in a while, even though they enroll into the monthly membership. Not everybody comes every day, but I do every day. I like to do it. It's very normal for me to do that, and then I get a lot of benefit out of that. I enjoy the hour. I will be present and all. So what happens is, whatever problems are there, I will be completely in the present that particular hour. That's what happens. So I teach them these things, and also much further too. If they have any questions, I do this on a Zoom, Angela, so that I can see them what they are doing, and then they can also see me, and then follow things much more clearly. Okay, actually, I do the physical asanas, I do the breathing exercise, I do the meditations, everything with them, so that it becomes like an exercise in awareness that entire hour. It's not like a regular yoga class where you do only exercise, but this is more of involve alignment, not only with your breath, but with your mind and with your presence. All those things are involved in that. Make sense?
It makes sense. I caught a couple of your lives that you do.
Yeah.
When you're setting up for the yoga and stuff like that.
Yeah. But now I put the Zoom now because they can see me and I can see them. I don't know otherwise. They can see me, but I cannot see them on Instagram, other place I was doing before. So now it is only on Zoom. So only the people who are interested coming, and then that's good enough for me.
Oh, And what's that room?
That's not a room. That's a Zoom session.
No, I'm saying, what room are you talking about? I know you say you do the Zoom. I see you somewhere.
Yeah, wellness club. My wellness club.
The wellness? Okay.
Yeah. So for that.
But now they changed all the rooms, so you have to.
This is not on the clubhouse. This is on, you have to go to my website, that is bapal.net/register. Then they will see the wellness club as a monthly subscription. They subscribe, then they get the Zoom link, and then they can join me on those hours. So that is going well, and then I enjoy that hour. It gives me a good start, and also talk to my friends, and then interested people are really happy to do that with me. And then sometimes I tell them weekly goals, like somebody has a back pain, somebody has a weakness of shoulder, neck, or whatever or they have some problems. They can tell me. Then I design the yoga routines for their problem. That way personalized sometimes, so they will enjoy that too. So that's a good thing. So because I'm ask them, because I don't want them to get hurt when they are doing these exercises. At the same time, get benefit of doing this. So it adds to the treatment whatever they're getting, and they become much more balanced, much more flexible, much more focused, much more energetic, much more aware. All those benefits are there, but you have to do them continuously for a long time. So the more you are in tuned with your body and mind, the better you feel and the more healthy you are. So Tarun and Kay both are there, and Girish, I think. You guys want to come up, you can come up. So okay. Yeah, I think Girish wants to come up, so you kind of ask him to come up.
I see the information in your profile. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah. I have to update that too. Hi Girish, how are you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, any questions? Yeah.
ఇది 2 ఏళ్ళు అయిపోయింది వచ్చినా కానీ మీరు ఉన్నారనే ఇంకా మొన్నలాగా మాట్లాడినట్టే అనిపిస్తుంది నాకు.
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing this every day for last 23 days. This is the 23rd day, and I think 17 days more. I'll be at this hour. There was a lot of changes in Clubhouse. Now we are in the house. That other room is not there anymore. So I have a lot of talks there. I have to get those talks downloaded, but I don't know how to do that. We have to find out. How are you, Girish? What is going on with you?
Everything is fine, sir.
Anything you want to share with us? What's going on in your life?
No, sir. I was in a. I want to ask a question regarding Jittu Krishnamurthy's books you have told.
Yeah.
Previous sessions.
Yeah.
I have usually whenever I feel free, I used to watch videos on YouTube regarding Jittu Krishnamurthy's.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
It's like more of very near to all the scientific things and everything.
Yeah.
Whatever he talks.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you that you used to follow some of his books.
Yeah.
Can you name some of them so that
I have
possible I can bring them in my.
Yeah. I have all his books. I was introduced to him in 1983, I think, by one of my friends. And then I took his whole work and then studied his work in a very detailed manner. See, one series I would recommend, Girish. It's about Krishnamurti and. Actually, it's titled as J. Krishnamurti in dialogue with Dr. Alan Anderson. There are 18 hours of discussions. They start with relationship, and then they go into fear, death, and so many topics. But ultimately, it ends up 2 hours of talks on meditation, 2 parts. I think if you have time and if you have interest, I think you should check them out, okay, and listen to them. The whole discussion on everything is right there. They are very, very. I don't think people can get them right away, understanding them right away. But then the more they are with them, the more your mind unfurling, the more you will understand. But that's a very good work of both Krishnamurti and Alan Anderson. Alan Anderson is somebody in California. He was the professor of religious ethics and all that. He knew everything: Christianity, Hinduism, Jewish, all of them they study. He teaches the kids about these things, right? And he had a lot of questions, and then there's a mutual discussion of that was very good. I think instead of studying books, you will be actually listening from Krishnamurti himself, and there is a way to listen to him. If you go with your own conclusions, you will never get what it is. But you just be open to what they're talking about and investigate it. That is the way to get Krishnamurti. So very, very deep studies. So actually, he was followed by Dr. Bohm, who was a physicist he was a young contemporary of Einstein. He's a brilliant physicist, right? So he had this question on observer is observed, but Krishnamurti explained beautifully, and that's why. See, Krishnamurti is about what is beyond thought. Okay, see, he wants you to end the thought means psychological thought, not about things outside and all of that. Physical world, science, that's okay with him. What is not with him? For example, you go outdoor and you see a beautiful flower, and you have all the descriptions, all the previous experiences, all your imaginations, whatever. If they are running in your mind, then you are not actually with the flower. So that's why he kind of talks about look at it, enjoy it, and afterward drop it. Don't go on giving it some history, and then next time you come, you will have the image, and then you will not be able to see flower as it is. So that is the ending of thought he talks about. That once you understand that, actually, the mind becomes so clear and calm, it will last for hours. But that was happening to me when I was understanding these things in the morning when I was to. There's a book called Commentaries on Living. It has three parts. The third part I liked best. In that part, they were a compilation of so many people visiting Krishnamurti and discussing some life truth. For example, somebody came to them and said, I have three sons, but there is no greatness in them. They talk about how upbringing, education, and all that, right? But before there's a meditative thing, there's there, and then this talk will be there. So in those talks, it's not just a casual conversation, but it is exploration into real truths of the life, right? And when I used to read them a little bit also, I used to have such a silence of mind to my work through the night, through the day. But this is something fantastic he's talking about. This chatter won't be there. This constant activity won't be there. At the same time, you are focused on whatever you are doing. Yeah, I think you stumbled upon something very, very good, Girish. Keep on that, and then you can always communicate with me if you have any doubts. Okay?
Sir, I'm a bit confused with going to the descriptions of Jiddu Krishnamurti, sir.
Yeah.
Like, I am more inclined towards our cultural things and everything. Whatever he spoke and speaks and everything, it is beyond my understanding.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It will be like that in the beginning. But then that's why I said, let us explore together. If you are interested, you can contact me privately. Then I will sit down with you and then give you some key pointers. This is something I did over these years because I was introduced by this gentleman, right, and who was reading him 20 years, 30 years, and all that. But he didn't get what I was getting, the silence of mind, keeping quiet at the same time, very inspired intellect, sharp intellect that can be used to learn things and all that. But at the same time, free of this extraneous thought and all that. So why it is because if you approach Krishnamurti not with insight, but with your thought, with your mind and all that, you will never get it. I will tell you one thing. At one time, all these people who were next to Krishnamurti, following him, listening to him, but still not able to get him, there were people, so many people like that, right? They said, sir, we are following 20, 30 years, we don't know what the secret is. Then he said, you want me to tell you what my secret is? And then they said, oh, yeah, sure, please tell us. Then he said, see, whatever happens, I don't mind. See, that is his secret. So he doesn't have that regular mind and all that, but he's always in that present, very enriching, fulfilling, silent mind. Actually, there's a movie by that name, Krishnamurti with a silent mind. So that silent mind is very significant. Actually, many scientists, before they have these deep insights into universal laws, they have that silence of mind. So it's a big deal, but you got to explore it. But when you are exploring it, don't get caught in the thought, but explore it to get the insight, and then stay with the insight. Then things will be much more clear. You can call me. You can make arrangements to spend time with me. I do some what are called satsangs, and you can also come and join them. They're on Zoom. Special invitation only. Only people who are interested. We kind of gather together and talk about these things. Okay. Okay, Girish, You can, yeah, you can join the satsang with me. Okay, no problem.
I will send you a personal message, sir.
Are you following me? Let me see. Are you following me? Yeah, you are following me.
I am following you, sir.
Yeah, I will also follow you. Then you can back channel. You can contact me. Then we will make arrangements. Then you can join my satsangs. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad somebody took my advice and got on Krishnamurti. That really makes me really happy. I'm not wasting time here. Somebody is following that. That's very good. A lot of people come with personal problems. So they say, I was helped by you. That's okay. But this is the difference between learning medicine and learning this ancient wisdom is medicine. I have to use my normal intellect and objective study and prove the all the evidence, everything through so many tests we do, so many studies we do. Everything is outward, right? Whereas this wisdom is something that happens within us as a subjective experience. There, we should not use this outgoing intellect. That's the difference between the two.
So those words you have spoken now, no, sir. Even the great people, great leaders will not tell, sir. What you are telling is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely what you have told in a single sentence.
Yeah.
You have to make ensure that it should be given some sort of synopsis to younger generations.
Yeah.
Write a book regarding all these things.
Oh, I wrote a book on the meditation. It's going to be released. And I got another one on inner resilience and another one. See, my books, majority was written, but I have to finish the designing. I have to finish the publishing and all. They will be out anyway. But, I take my own time. I enjoy. See, more than intellectual understanding of these things, you got to have subjective experience of these things. Then they will be truths in your life as you are experiencing them. That's why it's such a invigorating thing when you experience these things. Somebody don't have to explain them to you. The truth will be right in front of you. But then modern tendency is to get caught in our intellect that is going outward, our senses that is going outward. So that's a very inwardly people are still anxious, still depressed, still stressful. All those things are there because they don't understand. Just reading books, just having talks, those things may not give you inner experience. That's what you want to strive for. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going too deep, probably.
And the conversation somehow will like other guests also there, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they can ask me a question. You asked a question about Krishnamurti, that's why I opened up. Angela and me, we were talking about a lot of things before you came. I was talking about vacating the mind. Actually, Krishnamurti taught me that. How to take vacation means vacating the mind. Then my vacations have become very, very good experiences because when I go to the vacation, because I give the clinic and everybody sometimes, right, they will take care of it. But I don't worry about what's happening, that like that every day. I try to finish off my patient work, everything. And then when I'm with you guys, for example, I'm completely with you. So that kind of thing really helps me to not to waste my energy in unnecessary thought. That's also very, very good. So understanding this or thought mechanism is very important. And then you become more efficient and more saving energy because you don't waste it in the what do you say in unnecessary thoughts going on and on. That is the depletion of energy. That also Krishnamurti taught me, because every day what we do from morning till if you examine it, lots of times we waste our energy unnecessarily and we don't know about it. Even thinking about things that are not immediately on hand and worrying about things, that's all waste of energy. It doesn't solve any problem for you. So I compare this worry like sitting in a rocking chair, and you can rock in the chair, but the chair will not go anywhere. You know, like that, if you are engulfed in worry, you won't go anywhere. You won't solve anything, but you will be wasting energy. So
He is bit addictive, sir. And
yeah, yeah, that's true. It is a it's a kind of a habit form.
whenever he sleeps, he used to like run out of that.
Yeah,
He'll to that tide of his thoughts and everything. Which is
yeah.
very awesome. Whenever he sleeps out.
Mm. It is a very difficult thing because now modern science wise we know that neuroplasticity, what it is if you allow your thoughts go on as a habit, mental habit, it can form its own neuronal path, okay, neurological path. And that is like a, on the gramophone record, like a groove. Those grooves get more strengthened the more you think about it several years like. And then when you are meditating, these things come up. So unless you know how to really allow them and subside them or replace them with a conscious thought, they become your kind of your energy depleting thing. I know a lot of people, older people, especially when we treat them, they kind of cannot get rid of these old memories they have, but they can not remember something recent, right? So all the old experiences, old things that have happened, they go on repeating them. Then people find them boring, you know, because that doesn't enter the present life. So they'll be saying something that happened long time ago, or they themselves don't have a calm mind, you know, so they suffer from that. So in yoga also, these neuroplasticity is described as samskara vasana formation. That was there in our ancient wisdom, but people didn't understand how to be conscious thought rather than perpetual thought. That's why they get trapped into the perpetual. That's why they don't have a calmness in mind. And then they look for some external, like alcohol or smoking, or somebody is saying all that. And that doesn't work lots of times because you got to replace these old habits with something consciously thinking new habit. Like, for example, I'm doing some work. If I see what is going on with the work and understand what it needs and provide it, then my professional knowledge can come in. But what about my attention? That attention happens to be the cure for this recurrent thought. That means you have to be attentive to whatever you are doing all the time. Then that becomes a liberating experience. A lot of energy is released because of that. Make sense, Girish?
Yes, sir. I have learned about some about that about neuroplasticity. I used to watch that thing.
Yeah.
But you have described.
Yeah.
Which means already we have already in our we have already by our grace of ancestors.
Yeah. Well,
Krishna has used already taught, but
yeah.
No one knows that. By I came to know through you, sir. But,
yeah. That
what is neuroplasticity?
Yeah. See.
What is the ancient terms?
Yeah. What it is the ancient exploration into this kind of truths of mind people did with going inward and sitting down and finding it, like Buddha and other people, ancient Hindu rishis, or even contemplative Christians. A lot of ancient people in different cultures, they were able to have a simple life outward and then sit down and be contemplative, be meditative in their inner self and discover these things within them. So it's not that my experience will be yours, but your experience has to be yours only. And that is people don't do majority of time. They want to understand and then think that understanding will come. No, no, you got to go in and find out yourself.
That's true, sir. True.
Yeah, that's it.
What you are told, different experience, no one knows, sir.
Yeah.
Just we will be like someone like a stereotype, like
yeah,
someone has done good thing, we will just follow like that. And
yeah.
if I get benefited, I must start meditation.
Yeah.
Like someone like there should be some theoretical things and practical things should happen.
Yeah.
But what you are telling now, like you must experience like that.
Yeah.
One is telling, boy is telling like that. Sir.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the true guru is somebody who will direct you towards your own inner self. You have to. They can a light on, but you have to actually walk and remain and do it. Then only you will get the real experience of that. Then that subjective experience is what excelled in the ancient Indian times. And then they are so, if they follow those awareness-based methods, a lot of mental illness will go away. Actually, Girish, I have this subjective sense of blissfulness and happiness, joy, and I don't have to do anything for that. This is the gift that they gave. I was reading these stories in the folklore that normally what we were taught, happiness is out there, go and do things and get the happiness, right? That is what we were taught. But then these Munis, they said, no, 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 there is a perfection within us, there's a diamond within us, that is our inner self. That itself is contented, already complete. That's a Purnam. Purnamadam, Purnamidam, they talk about that the creator is Purnam, that's perfection. And we are brought out of that. That's why we are also perfect. So realize that, it's like a self-luminous sun. Whereas our mind is like a moon that has the reflected light from the self-luminous sun. So nobody knows the self-luminous sun. But these yogis and rishis, they found that. And then they didn't want to pursue anything for their happiness because they touched the core of the real happiness, right? And then they went and worked for the world because they don't need anything. They are happy and completely contented, happy within. They stayed in that and then operated. That's why they said, Atma Mokshardam Jagat Hitaicha. First work for your inner fulfillment completely, not with things, not with the pleasures and all that, but knowing who you are. And then go and help the world. I thought that was very good. And then I was so blessed to be revealed that. And then after that, I knew what it is.
So much huge.
Yeah. So they say everybody can do this. That is the thing, everybody can do it. And only thing is, you got to understand the power of the ego, power of the mind. And then that's like a avarana. Avarana means it kind of wheels over this real self. So once you understand ego, once you understand this personality and all that, you can see that they are man-made, and then there's a wheel covering over the our real self is this ego, false self and all. Once you lift it, then the real self shines. And that is real peace, real happiness, real joy. I didn't mean to talk about all these deep things, but you brought them out, Girish.
Yes,
yeah.
Very subjective and very intellectual discussions. Till now I have heard.
Yeah.
Like Shishya, so I meant to ask my Guruji so that I must know that knowledge from your life.
See, there was I think you can remember this. There was there was this order of monks, and they were all taught a particular mantra, and then not even mantra, Mahavakya, they say. That is great sentences in Vedas, right? What it says is, Aham Brahmasmi, for example, one of them, right? Four of them. Right? That means I am that spirit of God or whatever, right? That is part of, I am part of that, I am me, right? Once you there, they came and said, how many times we should repeat it? And the teacher says, it's not for repetition, it is for realization. So knowledge is not to accumulate things, but to realize this inner divine spiritual self. That has got nothing to do with the knowledge. The less knowledge you have, the better it is. So better thing is not to have to explore so much knowledge. That is all mind. But if you go beyond it into silence, that is right. You remember the Christian saying, be still and know your God. Same thing. I am that I am, they said, and then they said, our people, I am that, the same thing. They say all the culture, religions and everything, they say the same thing, but then people give different interpretations. And then they miss the essential thing. They don't stay in that spiritual being, but all the external things that are not really true, and they're not anityam. That means they're temporary. This thought, this body, everything. But what is nitya? That means permanent is our real self. So establishing that, realize that, not talk about a lot of things, but realize that and stay in that. And that is really the purpose of human life, our ancient said. Calmness of mind is only initial, but then people are not even doing that. That's why I'm kind of introducing this practice that they can do. And then we were talking like this beyond that also, and people who are interested in that, they come and pose questions like you did, Girish. Then we go into that.
Really, sir. Now and then people are caring about all these things, sir. I don't. People are more soaking into alcoholism and everything.
Yeah. Usually, I don't say about other people, am I doing it or not? That's all. That counts for me. So people are at different stages, right? But they're like, I was in different stages in my life. People are at different stages. Some may be already realized and stationed there. Some may be coming to that and all that. Sometimes it takes lifetimes too. So once you understand they're all in the same journey, but they don't know which part they are, we can accept them like that. You remember our Namaste, Girish? The Namaste meaning is like a Namaste to Girish, Angela, or Kannan, whoever it is here. I'm not to the personal self, but also deeper divine self. My divine self is prostrating to the divine self in Girish, divine self in Angela, divine self in. Without that, they don't have this body, mind, or life. So once I realize that you are also the divine self, I'm prostrating to that. That's why Namaste is so significant.
But yes, sir. But I have read that different way. Namaste means you are surrendering your ego to other person.
Not the other person, other self, other Atman, other divine thing that is there in the other person. Yeah, you can surrender. That is fine. Surrendering or realizing are the same thing, right? So the same meaning. Finally, what it is suppose you have sun. Okay, sun is blazing, right? Blazing in the sky, and you put 1,000 bottles in front of it, water. You see 1,000 suns in each bottle. Like that, the divine self is in us. The trace of it, the spark of it is all of us. Not only us, but all living beings, right? And then we are remembering, realizing it, and then really appreciating that it's there. That's when you do Namaste, you have to have that spirit of that realization and then do the Namaste. But most of the people think I'm doing namaste because this person has a position, this person has a personality, this person has some money or whatever, right? That is all not it.
I normally go and visit now, sir. If that opposite person is more like better than me, then I will bend like that. That is.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. But, no, this is called ekatvam. Ekatvam means oneness. We are all in one universal energy, and that energy is within all of us. That you just prostrate into that. Ekatvam. That is what they call. It's a very important thing in ancient times in a lot of cultures. Even Muslim cultures, Christian culture, Jewish, all of them have that. But we don't realize that now. Physics is saying there is only one energy, and we are all part of that one energy. That is true. That is true, really. There is only one energy, and then we are all in that. The problems come to us because we separate ourselves from that unifying energy by identifying with other things, like we are this body or this intellect or this religion, this nation. So we divide ourselves from that energy. Like that's why people feel separated and they feel lonely when they're separated from the energy. But the people who are in aloneness and really oneness, they don't have loneliness.
They explore themselves.
Yeah. They know you and me are in one energy. Then there are no others. Ramana Maharshi said, there are no others. That is what it means. Actually, I wrote an article on this, oneness and aloneness. Go to my LinkedIn profile and follow my articles there, Girish.
Oh, sir, you have also LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. No, I have LinkedIn articles come there. It's like a LinkedIn profile, linkedin.com.in/Ravu Kolusu. If you put that, you will go to my profile. Follow me, and then you will see all my articles. I didn't write in the last 10 days, but otherwise, I was writing more frequently these days. So.
And I have spent so much time in this.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we are 7 to 8. We do every day. Tomorrow also I'll be here, 7 to 8. So I will. Angela, you have any other questions?
I was just laying and taking a break for a minute.
Okay.
Then I was going to wait to make the tea to see if I really wanted, because what is it, 9 o'clock? So that means I'll be getting right back up now.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
I'm just taking a break for a minute and just stopping everything. And
yeah.
I like to, because we went over that the other day when we were talking about,
yeah,
appreciate the present.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's a mystery. Yesterday was history.
Yeah, exactly. That's the truth. Actually, that is the life. Yesterday is a mystery. Yesterday is gone. It's history. But tomorrow is not. We don't know what's going on. But what is life is here and now. Like I'm just spending time with you. This is life for me right now. Once
yes, it is.
Yeah. But you have to be in that presence, though. That is why there's not getting caught in the network of thought, and clearing the mind is important. Okay.
That's why I said I stopped, because I was on the laptop too. Then I told you I wanted to finish up that silent meditation room.
Yeah.
But that could wait until tomorrow. It's just Clubhouse had made all the rooms that you had. They made them into houses.
Yeah.
And I don't want all of those houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to go back and delete some of them, but I want to keep the meditating.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay. Okay. See you, Girish, Kanan. Thanks for coming up.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Good time, sir.
Good time.
Good day, sir.
All right.